Hey guys, this is your girl CY aka CC for real and vice versa. Kindly subscribe to my channel before we get into the video. I've been loving the love that y'all have been showing me in my past videos and I cannot thank you enough. Let's get on to the video. Today's topic is about the controversial bumble advertisement and the billboards that were going on in the US of A, not here in Kenya, obviously. And Bumble basically put out an ad that was saying, you know, full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer, and things of that nature that were trying to um, put an attack upon celibate. As we can see, in this Christian walk, we definitely know life is spiritual, and we definitely know that things like this are attacks on our fabric, our moral fabric, and where we are standing with God in itself. And the Bible is very clear and specific about sexual acts before marriage. And when we look at videos like this or billboards like this that come up and try and tell us a vow of celibacy is not the answer, we definitely know the times that we are in. We definitely know the spirit of the hour and the spirit of lust that is running rampant in this generation. But on the flip side of all this negativity, I'd like to point out the fact that many people are starting to wake up and realizing that having premarital sex and just casual sex is not really fulfilling. It's not really the answer, and people are beginning to realize that their bodies are worth much more than sleeping around with different partners every now and then, if you know what I mean. People are beginning to realize that they're worth much more. They're worth the marriage, they're worth the whole family and everything else. And also, especially female, like the female demographic is beginning to realize many of those things. And I think there was a shift, especially 3 years ago, as a collective, that we all came to that epiphany, and we all came to that agreement, I guess, because many people have been talking about why they left and came to start practicing celibacy 3 years ago. And it got me like, why 3 years ago? And I think there was a shift in mindset shift and spiritual shift and all these beautiful shifts that happened as a collective, and people saw that this thing was not really worth it. This thing was actually making people feel depleted. And it is really a good thing that many people are starting to wake up to the point where masses are leaving these dating apps. And when you look at these dating apps and their purpose in this journey or in this world, it's actually just to sell lust when we look at it objectively. Because why are people getting out of this site? They're trying to be celibate, and if you're trying to be celibate, why would you be on that site exactly? So it doesn't really make sense to be celibate and then put yourself out on that app again. So many people just decided, look, we are here, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do things different from what we have been doing in the past years, and it has not been fulfilling. Let's get out of these apps, because we are not going to be on these apps, and yet there's no sexual participation that we are doing. So what are we doing? So we get out of the apps, and now these apps check their analytics, their statistics, and all these things, and they come to see that the most demographic that is leaving these apps is the female demographic. And they start now putting ads to start playing reverse psychology on people, and they start putting things like, oh, celibacy is not the answer, you know, definitely well that you becoming a nun is not the answer, and things of that nature. It is mockery. It is all these things that try to prompt, and reverse psychology that tries to prompt you to try to think like, oh, okay, maybe this is not the answer. Oh, should I do this? And the thing about also celibacy is, if your celibacy is not really rooted in Christ, you are definitely one of these victims that will, one of these people that will fall victim in such a type of scam or a type of movement or a wave. Why? Because definitely you're gonna be feeling like, okay, maybe celibacy is not really the answer, because I've been celibate again for like 2 3 years or 1 year, and still it's not giving me the result. Maybe you may think like that, and then you try to switch it up again and go back to the app. But if your celibacy is rooted in Christ, definitely you're going to be like, no, I am being celibate because it is Christ's commandment on my life. And apart from it being Christ's commandment on my life, it is something beneficial. It is something that is blocking a lot of things from happening in my life. So I feel like sometimes even worldly people right now are practicing celibacy. But what is the foundation of the celibacy? The celibacy foundation should be Christ. If it is not Christ, it can be broken anytime. But all we can say is this is still beautiful. For them to put out ads like this, they definitely see that people are not interested in doing and or engaging in bad behavior anymore. So they're trying to prompt you guys to go back there. And this is not just a woman thing, this is also a man thing. We have seen mass exits. We have seen men who are trying to live right once and for all. They're trying to just do it the Jesus way. Why? Because after you do these sexual acts, or you just engage in the sinful acts, you usually feel depleted, you usually feel wasted, you usually feel useless, and this is not even a good thing, even for the men. When we talk realistically, all parties do not feel fulfilled, even though biology may tell you different, nature may tell you different, but the truth is there is no fulfillment in these things. And as we can see now the apps have been using, especially the female demographic, as a commodity to be sold out. And we have seen people who have exited the apps and their profiles are still actively being used on these apps, meaning people or these types of sites are trying to make profit by all means. They don't really care, they just want to make profits. So it is time to discern the times that we are in. It is time to be smart with choices concerning our bodies, with choices concerning our relationship with God. And kindly subscribe to my channel for more information like